Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of NeuroFlow Tai Chi with myself, Giles Yeates. um, so just a little update from last week. We had originally had the plan of myself and Alison Smith taking in turns to lead the sessions. What we're going to do now is I'm going to be the person who remains in front of the camera, and Alison will be present behind the scenes. You'll see her on the chat responding to queries and questions, and also periodically she and I will record some videos together and upload it. But the week-to-week basis, it'll be me. So I'm looking forward to meeting with you all and continuing the Tai Chi training. I do really want you to think about this as a brothers and sisters kind of experience. We're a whole community here of people training in Tai Chi. So last week we had a go at moving from the breath into our dantian, into the area around our stomach, and turning that into a snake-like movement. And we're going to try a different movement this week, but we're going to do that from the same kind of progression. We're going to start with the breath and our belly, and then we're going to build into a different movement. And as before, we're going to have options. So our options would be for seated versus standing, using one upper limb versus both upper limbs. So depending on what you need, what's right for you. Remember, these are all different ways to access a particular state of mind, a flow state. This is why this group is called NeuroFlow Tai Chi. So getting the movements absolutely right is not as important as using the movements and the breathing, and a relaxed state of body and a flow state of mind to get into that particular state. So think about it that way and think about, okay, which is going to be the right way for me? Do experiment with different things. And you want something that's accessible for you, but if you find that you're getting bored because it's not challenging you enough, think about trying something else. So I'll kind of outline your options as we go through. Okay, so for this week, you can either start seated, or if you know that you might want a standing practice, start standing. Okay, I'm going to start off the instructions seated, but by all means, if you want to get out of your seat and stand, you'd be very welcome. So if you're seated, sit at the edge of your seat and raise your body up tall. Have your hands on your belly. And we're going to start with the most important thing, the breath. Breathing in slowly through our nose. And slowly out. That slowly out, maybe out through your nose or out through your mouth, whatever feels comfortable. The key bit that where possible, you breathe in slowly through your nose. Breathing in. And breathing out. And just think how many times we breathe each day. We can make each breath a nurturing, therapeutic one, or one that puts us in a bad place, a bad state of mind. So slowly breathing in. Now get that breath slow and deep. Now get it down into your belly. Fill your belly with that breath. And then slowly breathing out. Slow breath in. Fill your belly, fill that balloon in your belly. The balloon expands and rises. The belly rises into your hands. Breathing out, the belly falls again. Breathing into your belly. Breathing out. Nice, and already that starts to ground you, get you kind of focused and centered in your experience, being here with me, being here with everyone else. And the breath slows things down, slows down whatever's happening in your day, whatever's happening in your mind prior to tuning in with me. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Great. And we want to keep this as a thread, the thread of the breath all the way through. So as we progress into some body movements, keep the slow breath in, the slow breath out. Don't worry about when to breathe, as in when to breathe in or out corresponding to your hand movements or leg movements. Just keep the breath slow and deep. Okay, that's the main thing. Alright, breathing in slowly. Breathing out. Nice. Now we're going to bring in a movement. We're going to do a different movement this week, last week. We're going to do something called cloud hands. When I learned to practice Tai Chi and Kung Fu with the monks in China, the temples will be at the top of the mountain, we're above the cloud line. So you literally would be parting clouds away as you do this movement. And the pace and the quality of the movement are like clouds floating around in the sky. So what I'm going to do is I want you to take your preferred hand, whatever hand is available to you, and I want you to start to cross the hand, scoop the hand down in front of you, and bring it up, and then bring it across your face, just above your eyes. Maybe turn the palms out as you do that, and then scoop this down in front of you. So for you it might be, for me I'm right-handed, so my preferred hand is my right hand crossing my body, crossing over like this. If your preferred hand or the accessible hand is your left hand, you're going to do the same. Take your preferred hand, hold it out, scoop down, crossing over your body. Open the palm. Scoop down. Think of your shoulders being relaxed, your elbows heavy. Scooping down. As you come up, breathe in. Fill that belly. As you breathe out, hand comes down. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. I want you just to get absorbed into this. Remember, it's just you, no one else seeing what you're doing. The movement is a little bit more straightforward than last week. So get absorbed in the circle, scooping down, the rising, the hand turning out, scooping down again. And keep doing this. This is our gateway into that state of flow. Don't worry about getting it exactly right, exactly like mine. Just focus on and going down, coming up, crossing back over above your eye, down again. So keep going. Those of you who are seated and those of you who are standing, I hope you found this space too, where you're crossing over, opening out, coming down again. For those of you who are standing and doing this, as you come down, think about sitting into your hips a little bit more, bending those legs, rising your body a little bit up, coming down, sinking into your hips, coming up, rising your body, lengthening your body, coming down. Just forget where you are, what you're doing. Absorb this. And then circle one more time. And both hands come to your belly, just a little bit below your belly button. Okay. Now we're going to continue that. Now, if both hands are available to you, then I'd like you to choose your other arm and start the other side. If one side is available to you, the other side isn't, keep going with the arm side that you've been working on. Okay? So those who want to try and have the option of the other arm, take your other arm. So for me, I'm switching to my left hand. My left hand is going to cross, scoop down, cross my body, rise, turn, and as it crosses above my eyes, come down again. And for those of you who are trying the other arm, a different arm, you'll notice that will feel different. It won't feel the same as your preferred arm. But with some repetition, keep going. It'll feel less weird. Check in with that breath. Deep breath in. Deep, slow breath out. Remember, filling that balloon with air. Slow breath out. That balloon shrivels up. Few more repetitions. And one more. And then we're going to come down. So just relaxing. Maybe roll your shoulders back. One or both shoulders up, your ears back. Nice breath. Relax. Roll the shoulders forward. Alright. Okay. So, go back to your preferred hand if you've been experimenting with the other. We're going to go a little bit deeper into the movement. Okay. And this is going to be an important step into the practice. And for those of you with one side of your body not as responsive, this is going to be an important bit to try and access that side of the body too. So with your preferred hand, with the side that's accessible to you, we're going to try and repeat the cloud hand movement, but we're going to try not to move our arm. We're going to try and do it more from the movement of our body, less about our arm, less about our arm and hand. Okay, so it's less about this, more about the body moving. So I'm going to give you guys some pointers on this. And when I was training in the temples in China, the monks would try and really give us the tiniest of instructions to move different parts of our trunk. And we weren't allowed to move our arm or hand at all. But the end result was that we'd be moving as you guys have just been doing. So it's a really interesting practice. But it also might free up something when your arm or leg doesn't respond in the way it used to. So just repeat, get yourself ready, sitting or standing. If you can stand, this might help a little bit. If sitting is your practice, that's completely fine too. So go with your preferred hand, the other hand just resting on your lap or on your tummy. So we're going to think about the movement we're doing. That's all that scooping down, rising, crossing. Now, we're going to scoop down, but think less about your arm. Think about sitting down and turning your hip and your tummy to one side. Now, when you turned, Now think about straightening, rising your body, rising your collarbone up, which has the action of bringing the arm with it a little bit. Now, instead of crossing the hand over, think at this point of rounding your back, rounding your shoulders, which brings the hand across. Now think about sinking down into your hips, be it seated or standing, turning the hips to the side, rising your chest, your collarbone, now rounding your shoulders, a twist to the other side of the body, and then sink down into your hips again, twisting your hips and your stomach to the other side, rising the body, get some space, find some space around the collarbone, and round your shoulders, which brings the hand across the body, sink down again. Think about that breath, breathing in, breathing out. Let the body lead, sinking down into your hips, twisting the belly button over to one side, rising your chest, rising the collarbone, rounding your shoulders, brings the arm across the other side, sinking down again. Keep doing this. If you're standing, you might find that the legs can help. So as you sit down into your legs, twist the hips to one side, then you can rise your chest, your collarbone, round the shoulders, which brings the hand across. Sink down into your hips again, which brings the hand down and across, rising the chest, the collarbone, rounding the back, rounding the shoulder, brings down. Just focus in on yourself, focus in on your body, sensations, thinking, finding space rising every part of your body, collarbones in around the shoulders, to bring your hand across, sink down. And the sensation should be kind of like you're pulling your hand and your arm around like a string being pulled by something else. The body is pulling it across. The body sinks and brings the hand and the arm with it. The body rises, pulls it up, round the shoulder, pull it across. Keep going while I take a seat. Yeah, think about that. Think about how you're creating this movement, all from the body now, less from the arms just moving about by itself. Okay, have a little pause there. Now, we're going to move across to our non-preferred side. So that's now everyone, okay? So that includes people who they're right-handed and now they're going to switch their left hand. It also includes those of you who've been working with one side that's been available to you, and now we're going to try and work with the less responsive side as a result of the stroke or brain injury, okay? So we're going to use the idea that we were developing just now about letting the body lead rather than moving the arm. So in your least responsive side, either sitting down or standing up, think about, where possible, have the arm away from your body. If it's close to your body, that's fine. Now think about the trunk rather than the arm. We're going to sink the hips down, and then we're going to move across, looking towards our preferred side that's more accessible to us. And then we're going to rise, find some length from rising in the chest and in the collarbone. And then we're going to round our back, which has the action of bringing the limb across, bring our arm across. And then we're going to sink it down into the chair, down into your hip standing, turning towards our preferred side. Rise the trunk, the chest. Find that space in the collarbones. There's always some space to be found around the collarbones, which you're not used to. Now round the shoulders, bring the hands over. Sink down. And it may be that the arm isn't responding too much, but if the arm is here and you're sinking, rising, rounding the shoulders, sinking down, rising, rounding the shoulders, sinking down, rising, then you're doing the Tai Chi movement from the trunk, from the center of your body. Nice, everyone. Those of you who have more arm movement available to you, don't get seduced by that. Don't go to your arms. Think about sinking down, rising the trunk, the collarbone, rounding the shoulders, coming over, sinking down. Let the body lead this movement. Nice. And pause that. So in this way, we can find some flow using deeper structures, deeper aspects of our body than the arms. The arms and legs in Tai Chi, they're ripples, okay? They move in some intricate ways, but they come from a different place. They come from the core movement, which is in our center line, from the very tip of our head right the way down through to between our pelvis and right down into the soles of our feet in some movement. Okay, so let's just repeat the movement again now. Don't worry about it. Just go back to how we started at the beginning. Think about scooping your preferred arm down, up, crossing over. And yet you can bring more of the arm into this now, but don't lose the body completely. Think about what we just discovered about sinking down, coming up, rounding, sinking down, lengthening, rising, rounding. Now, if you want a final challenge, for those of you who have two arms available to you, we're going to try both arms at the same time. And this is a real leveler, because whatever you've found up to now, this is a tricky one, okay? But it's interesting, if you wanted a bit more of a challenge, think about both arms circling at the same time. So the way, have a little go, see what happens if you try and do both arms at the same time, if both arms are available to you. You might find that actually there is no flow going on for me at all. What on earth is going on? I'm all fingers and palms, arms and legs. So the way to view it is think about, as you're sitting, imagine a clock face. Okay, you've got 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then to your left is 9, to your right is 3 o'clock. Pick 9 or 3 o'clock and cross palms, one palm up, one palm down, and then bring them round so the palms are above each other at 12 and 6, and then bring them to cross over at the other side. So think about 3 o'clock, 12 and 6, 9 o'clock. If you get lost, go back to 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, cross the palms over and circle. Now this is where our body movements from our trunk really help, because then it's less about what the arms are doing, more about sinking down, rising up, rounding the shoulders, sinking down, and then the hands do their own thing. So I guarantee you that everyone now will be challenged more than they were at the beginning. Like I said, it's a real egalitarian leveler, doing cloud hands for full movement. And Keep going. If you're standing, same thing. You can bring the legs into it a little bit more. But remember why we're doing this, guys. We're breathing. We're flowing. Find your way into flow. This is going to be a trickier one. For practice, it becomes pleasurable. At the beginning, it's tough. So maybe pause, and for one final time, seated or standing, take your preferred hand. Scoot down, crossing over. And enjoy the sensation now. This should feel familiar from the last 20 minutes or so of our practice. Enjoy the sensation. And wherever you are, complete your last circle and bring both hands on your belly. Stay standing if you want to, or take a seat if you want to. Stay seated if you want. Hands on your belly. Close your eyes. Breathing in. And just picture the movements of your body. On the outside, you stopped. And inside, those cloud hands are still circling around. Slow them down in your mind. Bring them to a standstill. Feel that stillness. Feel how your body and mind have benefited from being held together in the flow of our movement. And thank you all for taking the time to train with me. I'll still be around, and so will Alison, to answer any questions on chat or leave a comment below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.